Hi, and welcome to my YouTube channel. I'm Erin McGuire, owner of Pure Light Wellness. I'm a spiritual business and life coach for empaths, highly sensitive people, and light workers. And today I wanted to get into a video that has been showing up a lot in clients that I work with. And it's definitely something that I have had to work through in my own life. Before I get into what the video is all about, don't forget to subscribe to my channel. That would mean the world to me. And hit the bell if you're enjoying this video. Share this video with somebody you know that could use this information. So today's video is all about, are you addicted to saving and fixing other people? If you've been around here at all, you know I talk a lot about people pleasing. I like to say I'm the ex-queen of people pleasing. I mean, I was the worst, or you could say the best at people pleasing. And this attribute of needing to fix and save people is a byproduct of that need, that desire. It's also a product of trauma. Okay, so we'll get into another video about the different kinds of trauma out there, but just know that trauma isn't just physical abuse or a natural disaster. It's also little things that maybe you grew up with a parent that worked a lot and you didn't get to see them. Or maybe you grew up with an alcoholic or an emotionally unavailable parent. So it's not always something that's so in your face, but it could be something that you experience on a day-to-day basis that led to you feeling less than, or led to you feeling like you needed to overcompensate in order to get the love and connection you desired. And this idea of needing to save or fix people. So I'll just tell you a story of a client of mine. She reached out to me about friend of hers that's kind of going through something right now. And I could tell by how she was wording the information that she was getting kind of energetically involved. Again, I work with pretty much all my clients are empaths and highly sensitive people. And so it's also a sign of codependency, though, when we can't distinguish my energy versus your energy, for instance, especially for the people that are really close to us. We end up kind of blending, and then we don't know where do I end and that person begins. This happens a lot in our intimate relationships with our partners. If you grew up and had some kind of that little T trauma, you kind of turn into this codependent person. And ask me how I know, because that's what happened to me, right? And so then we start to feel like we're responsible for their feelings. We're responsible for their happiness. We're responsible for their needs. And that's when we really muddy the waters and start to exhaust ourselves, get resentful, because oftentimes we're not receiving from that person or persons what we're giving, right? So we're the overgiving, people-pleasing type. But it also plays into when a person that we care about is suffering in some way, anyway, really. If you have that kind of natural codependency tendency from growing up with a parent like that, then you're going to carry that into your adult life, and it's going to show up in many different areas. So, for instance, your partner may come home from work and maybe he or she just had a really bad day and is really negative or grumpy. I know for myself, I used to take that really personally, and I would be constantly asking, what's wrong? Are you okay? The more I really sat with myself on that, because it felt like an anxious feeling in my chest. It wasn't like I was genuinely grounded in myself and coming from that place. It was more like it made me feel anxious when he was upset or angry or negative or grumpy. And it's because I took that on as my job to fix, right? He's upset, so I need to make him happier. He's feeling negative or grouchy, so it's my job to make him feel happy or better or whatever, right? Most recently for me, this has come up. I've been wanting to grow my business in massive ways, really up-level, really break kind of the glass ceiling that I've created for myself. And I've been sitting with a lot of things, anything that may have been blocking me from doing that. And one of the things that came up was that I feel responsible to save some of the people that are working with me. So I have a coaching program where I coach coaches, and So I've hired on one of my coaches that I trained to start helping me in my programs. And I created this kind of story for myself that it's my job to like save her from her 9 to 5, because she still works a 9 to 5 job. Also, my partner, William, I created a story that, I need to take him out of his full-time job because he's not always so happy there. And so I really had to get clear with myself and get really honest with myself and like, am I trying to be everybody's savior and hero because I need to be needed, which is a people-pleasing tendency, which is a codependency thing. And it was true. It was like, I needed to save them. I needed to save them. I needed to get them out of their terrible realities, which isn't even real, but it's like my subconscious kind of started to create the story because that's how I will stay safe. These are important people to me. And so that's how, they won't abandon me. If I can save them, if I can be their hero, they're going to need to keep me around. And so it's a very sneaky, edgy little piece of the puzzle that we have to start breaking down. Otherwise, it kind of spins out into this whole thing and becomes our reality. And we do it completely unconsciously. And then later we realize how burnt out, stressed out, resentful we are, and how much pressure that puts on us, right? That when we think everybody's happiness and joy and even good feelings are our responsibility, like let's talk just for a moment about how much pressure that is. That's a lot of freaking pressure. So the first thing you really just need to do is to understand that that is a coping mechanism. It's a coping mechanism because of the trauma you experienced most likely when you were younger. If we can get real and start to name it what it is, instead of thinking this is just who we are, because that's what we do, we think, I am a people pleaser. I do have to make everybody happy. I do have to be everybody's rock. I do have to save and fix everyone around me. And most of us that have that kind of mentality end up in healing professions, right? So nurses, doctors, coaches, healers, social workers, teachers, so on. Part of us that it is part of who we are. It is a part of our personality. It's part of our gift to the world to help. But there's helping from a boundaried place and from a grounded, embodied in yourself place. And there's a helping from, I need to fix and save people so that I can feel good about myself. Because ultimately, that's what's going on. Ultimately, there's an agenda behind this. So let me just give you a couple tips just to wrap this video up. First, just get really clear that this is a coping mechanism, that it's not who you are. It's just a part of your trauma brain that is a little stuck. And so if we can kind of name it, claim it, say it, speak it, write it, whatever, write out that pattern. And then what's really helped me in the past is to just remember a little mantra, which is they're choosing to have that experience. If somebody's being negative, for instance, so if my partner comes home and he's grumpy and he's negative, it's not my job to fix this. So that's mantra number one. It's not my job to fix this. And then number two is he's choosing to have that experience. I don't need to fix this for him, right? So I think that's just a really powerful thing. And then the more times you say that, the more times you rewire your brain. Last thing I'll share is that I've noticed I feel kind of like an anxiousness. Like if my partner was, say, cleaning up in the kitchen and maybe I'm laying in bed, right? And I've started to notice that I need some transition time from work because I work from home, that I don't really have that drive home from work where I can kind of get out of work mode into home, chill, whatever mode. And so I have to kind of take that time for myself to like tune out sometimes. And so I'll just lay down and watch maybe a 20-minute show like Schitt's Creek or something like that, just to laugh and like kind of, again, transition out of work brain into chill brain. And like there's been times in the past where my partner has come home and he's still in go mode. So he's in the kitchen cleaning. All of a sudden the guilt comes in and I start to feel like I need to get up and do things. And I feel this anxiousness. And again, that comes from this like codependency thing where it's like, I can't be where I am and do what I'm doing right now because I feel the need to fix or help or save. Again, it's all this people-pleasing stuff. So take off your freaking people-pleaser crown. I mean, it's a lot of the stuff I already talked about. Okay, there's not a lot new to say. You got to do your own inner work. You've got to spend time with yourself. You've got to learn how to get embodied. And I'm going to talk more about that in the future. And just taking time to be with you, meditating for a few minutes in the morning, journaling for a few minutes in the morning. You have to start building your own identity and learning that my worth doesn't come from what I do for other people. It comes from from being myself. And really, again, like I said, naming it for what it is. It's a coping mechanism. And it's not even a genuine way to help, right? Because if I'm helping from a place of an agenda, I need to get something, then that's not really an open-hearted, loving place to give. And it's not here to make you wrong about that, because I've done it a million times as well. But if we can put some pain around it, if we can put some negativity around the action we've been doing to, in our subconscious mind, create a safe place and create so that this person stays in our life, because that's really where it's coming from. We're doing these things so that we aren't abandoned or rejected, which are very painful, deep, vulnerable experiences that you probably had at some point and learned it's not safe. So I have to overgive, overdo, save, fix, whatever. Okay, so just really understanding where that comes from and use those mantras. He's choosing to have this experience, or she is, and it's not my job to fix this. And then really sit. So for me, it's sometimes really uncomfortable to sit in the uncomfortableness of that person being in pain. But let yourself sit in that. It's okay. If we don't let them experience what they're experiencing, then we're not allowing them to truly be who they are. So can you be with somebody who's in pain without having to fix it? That's the $1 million question. Let me know in the comments how this video landed for you, what your takeaway is. And I have an amazing program that I've just started called my Empowered Women Level 1 Unravel to Rise. It's a $27 monthly membership. Every month you get a guided meditation, one of my super powerful guided meditations, an energy activation. So this is going to help you clear this junk in your subconscious from the traumatic experiences and so on. And then there's a soul workbook that's quite extensive. So it gives you a lot of content to kind of work through at your own time, in your own space, in a month's time. So it's really great for the person who's just I just want a little more support and accountability on my healing journey. And I'm going to leave a link below. It's called Unravel to Rise. Again, it's just $27 a month, and you get all of those things every single month. Plus, there's a Facebook group to ask any questions. All right, so thank you so much for being here. Again, subscribe to my channel, hit the bell if you liked this video. If you want more content like this, let me know, and we'll see you again really soon.